Mentor 6. Hey guys, just flown the Mentor 6. Had a really nice flight from Devil's Dyke. Managed to get away in some pretty grumpy conditions. And yeah, I had a good feel for the glider. I got worked a little bit in the sea breeze front. Got worked a little bit climbing out from launch. Pretty gusty, quite strong wind. Probably about 30 k's base wind. So yeah, it was a good test of the glider. I think the Mentor 6 really suits those sort of conditions where things are getting a little bit rough, they're getting a bit hard hitting, and the Mentor 6 definitely absorbs some of that energy and it takes out some of the power of the air. It detunes things, it's dampening things out, and certainly gives you confidence if you're flying in that sort of stuff. You're not getting overwhelmed by lots of information and lots of movement in the wing. That's a strong point for the wing. It makes it also suited for pilots that are just stepping up into the high B class, especially something from, like if you're going from a Nova Ion up to the Mentor. It's a very good progression, gives you a little bit more performance, a little bit more speed, but doesn't give you a hell of a lot more in the pilot demands. I think for pilots that are experienced and are maybe looking for a second wing in the high B class or coming down from a higher class, they're going to find the Mentor 6 is a bit too dampened. It's detuned, it takes a bit of time to respond to the brakes, it doesn't really respond to weight shift, and all of those elements are pointing towards a glider that's designed for somebody that needs the reassurance and needs the calmness of the wing. So if you're inexperienced in the class, you sort of, I don't know, maybe 50 hours, 75 hours, that sort of level of pilot, and you wanting to fly in the Alps in springtime, summertime, and you want the wing to do some work to actually help you, it's in the name, Mentor. It's there to help you while you're getting away with things that maybe you shouldn't be. The wing will actually help you and it'll absorb that energy. I found in the thermaling, it wasn't quick to respond. If I put in the brake, it took a little bit of time to just, okay, now it adjusts and then it goes around. It didn't make much difference which way I weight shifted. Wasn't really responsive to that. I could get a tight turn if I wanted to, but then the wing was definitely rolling and it wasn't that efficient, but you could get round tight. So you do that where you've got a very tight, strong core, and it doesn't really matter your sink rate. You're more concerned about actually getting into that core and staying in it. That was easy to control. I did find on the thermaling turn, it would have been more efficient just having the inside brake on and going round, but I had to keep some outside brake on because the outside tip wants to roll in when it hits. If you're going out the edge of the thermal and you're getting little bits of turbulence, it's not particularly resistant to collapsing there. But it's just the tip section, it's the outer section, which means a little bit of brake just to keep it open. And do you mind? I'm trying to review a glider here. It's not dangerous in any way. It's just a little fold in. And when I did bigger collapses, they were very standard, you know, for high B class, popped out. On a big collapse, I did find there was quite a bit of energy. That definitely makes it a high B in case you were thinking it's a low B. It definitely will react if you have a big collapse. I would feel that it's, you know, it's passed its EN test and that's not in question. But there is some movement there that will suit a high B pilot and not somebody that's fresh out of school for sure. Go for the Ion first, spend a good season or two on that, and then upgrade to the Mentor. If you're ready for it, it's a very undemanding glider. You can go and glide. You don't need to balance the wing out all the time with weight shift to try and counteract where it's going. It just glides in a straight line. Put your hands up and it goes. You can go onto bar, very easy. I was on full bar and not really worrying about the glider at all. You can use the speed brake risers to control the pitch, but I didn't find I actually needed to. You know, the glider's so solid and steady in pitch. In active air as well, I found it was very steady in pitch. It wasn't diving ahead and I had to hold it. And I was flying around quite comfortably with my hands off the brakes in active air. Cool, guys. So Mentor 6, what can I tell you about it? It's very calm. It absorbs a lot. You know, it's a classic Mentor. You really don't feel like you've got to be on the glider, and kind of delayed, soft responses. Not particularly responsive to weight shift or to brake input. It takes a little bit of time, but because of that, you've got a very calm feeling in the high B class. Probably the calmest glider in the class, I think, in terms of, you know, you can just fly along and let the glider do its thing. I'm not getting much feeling from the wing of which side the lift is. It seems to absorb whatever's coming through without transmitting the information. So it's very damped that way. It's nice if you've just upgraded to the class and you think it's kind of, you know, it's like, oh, well, I'm going to be in this high glider and I've got to hold it all the time. See, I'll weight shift and try and do a turn there. Very slow. Yeah, it's quite nice, you know, a confidence builder in that you don't really have to, you know, if you can weight shift if you want, but the glider will do fine without weight shift. When you put the brake in, it's not an immediate response. It takes a while, and if you put too much or too little brake in, it's not going to make a big difference. So it's very easy, very tolerant as a glider, and that makes it suited to first timers in the class, just upgraded to the high B class, and is maybe a bit dull if you're experienced and you want something with feedback and life and energy. This isn't the wing for you. So choose it depending on your particular abilities and your flying style. I found all the maneuvers were totally fine. Quite a bit of energy on the asymmetric, bangs out, but it does clear very quickly. The stall points may be a little bit easier to get to than previous Mentors, but still deep enough. Not massive pressure, but high pressure and fairly deep, and you've got to hold it quite long. On the turns, if you're going to push too much brake in, it's also, again, more accessible than previous Mentors, but no big deal. Very gentle and predictable. It damps out that pitch, that forward pitch, quite a lot. It feels fairly similar to the Ion, actually, just being very easy to fly and very simple, and more of that sort of little go-karty turn. And on the turns, I found it does roll a bit, it does drop the wing of it if you're trying to do a tighter turn. You can get it around pretty quick, but it's not that sort of flat, efficient climbing turn. It's kind of a more aggressive, kind of banked, quick turn. I mean, I climbed away from the dike in some pretty rubbishy air, and very good for holding on to that. Very relaxing in the air, very calm, steady, and simple to fly.
I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at these beautiful stars. I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me. Nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars. I wanna take a trip to Mars.
It doesn't do things quickly, but because of that, it doesn't have lots of energy. So it doesn't require a lot of piloting skills, and it doesn't require your reaction speed. Maybe if you're getting on in years and you've got experience, but your reaction time is now getting longer. This is the sort of wing that doesn't expect you to react instantly. You don't have to be on it. You can, oh, it's going ahead of me, I need to pull the brakes, kind of thing. And on the launch as well, you pull the wing up, It doesn't accelerate fast, and if it goes ahead of vertical, it doesn't collapse. It'll go ahead. It's got quite a bit of tolerance for moving ahead, and then you're going to catch it in the brakes. So that again makes it undemanding, makes it easy, gives you a bit of time to react. If that matches where you are as a pilot at the moment, then you really like the Mentor 6. If you are looking for agility and speed and energy, it's not the glider for you. We always recommend matching the wing to the pilot. So make sure you think long and hard about where you are in your flying and what you want out of the wing before you decide if this is the wing for you. If you're not sure, give us a call. We're happy to help with our wing match service. Thanks to all our patrons. Hi guys, appreciate your support. If you'd like to get behind the channel, check out our patron page or support us by getting something from the shop. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Appreciate your attention, and I'll see you in the next episode.
I've been feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall. But tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now.
We'll see you in the next episode where we'll review. What should we review? Let us know. Cheers.